West, y'all. I'm Shy Excel, man. And let me tell you something. We different over here. We big steppers. Let's go.
Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters. Whoa. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters. Whoa. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out your mind. Watch what you say, that type of shit could get you lined. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine. Just a mud who became the pick of the litter. Now my name ring bells when you talk to the hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam Cooke a nigga beat like I was born by the river. Go get her, you piss her, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spot like you niggas are with her. Keep an eye open around for any nigga that slither. Cause it ain't no sunshine here like Bill Withers. Whoa. Fuck you know about this life I live. How you gon' talk to me like I ain't lose no rib, like I ain't lose no crib, ain't lose no kid, ain't sleep in my car and I ain't lose no gig. Shit, I never gave an order that I ain't did, and I ain't never take a fucking thing that I wouldn't give. Always kept it a bill, homie, I ain't fit, and if I had to go sit, then I just do my bid. Yo, my whole team full of steel beams we can't fold. Your whole circle full of some squares you can't roll. That's why we always take it to levels you can't go. Talk shit, but you can see me with these hands though. If it's a kill like Cyclops, these niggas wanna see me in Pine Box. Know that on my watch, got a better chance to rewind clocks when you quit nigga when time stops, bitch. Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa.
This flow is award-winning. Torment them, bomb to death, I'm bored with them. Trash him, throw him away with the has-beens. Ice cold with the flow, I'm Alaskan. You was in the fucking jungle in the past tense. I be with the lions, they my friends, Carol Baskins. And like her, they'll never find a body. Tiger stripe tracksuit, feeling like Joe Exotic. Shit, I don't know what it is, but I know I got it. Feeling like Alonzo, surgical with the shotty. All you see is skull and bones, Illuminati. Probably I be the illest nigga to do it. I just talk shit on the beat and they call it music. I just come provide you with heat, remain the coolest. You ain't never been in the street with all the shooters. I was sipping yak with rioters and looters. Gotta keep my boots laid, shoot straight. Run up on you with the loose 8 in a screw face. It's bad out here, my style effortless. 2 hands hugging a Ruger, so affectionate. Lot of suckers don't want war, I'm respecting it. Biggest stepper, snatch your plate, the hood starving. Cause they got beard shoe trades like James Harden. Straight from NY to Philly, we still mobbing.
Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. 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 Whoa.
All right. Clap it up. All right, it's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. It is Monday, the history breakdown class, where we break it down line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. We are back in our deep dive in Genesis. We are at Genesis 45. All right, so in the story, Joseph been testing the spirit of his brothers, you know what I'm saying, to see if their spirit is of the Lord or if they still have the same spirit that they had when they betrayed him, and basically, try to play a practical joke on them, but the joke was on them because their brother ended up getting kidnapped, sold into slavery, rose up as a slave, got accused of rape, got thrown in prison, got rose up in prison, you know what I'm saying, and then got called out of prison to Pharaoh to interpret his dream. Once he interpreted his dream, he let him know the Lord told him that you got a hard famine coming for 7 years, and you need to prepare. You're gonna have 7 good years. You're gonna have 7 bad years, and those 7 bad years gonna be as if the 7 good years had not existed. So Pharaoh was like, "Hey, hit a signet ring. You know, the only person that can oversee or supersede what you didn't say it is me. You know what I'm saying? You are my voice. So whatever you tell them to do, they gonna do." So when the famine came, they, the people, they was like, we can't take the famine. What are we gonna do? Pharaoh was like, "What y'all come talk to me for? Go talk to Joseph." You know what I'm saying? So they came to Joseph. Joseph opened up the storehouse. That he been collecting. He been taxing them heavy for 7 years. And he giving them ears of corn. So his brothers came to try and buy some corn. They didn't know it was Joseph, but Joseph knew it was them on site. You never forget the person that got you sold into slavery. You know what I'm saying? You never forget a person that lined you up and got you arrested. You know what I'm saying? You never forget a person that snitched on you and got you fired. You know what I'm saying? You never forget a person at an administrative office that got you evicted from your apartment complex. You never forget the face of the opposition. It's just unfortunate because the scripture says that a man's foes is of his own household. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the ones that will test you the most. You will not get your biggest tests from those that are outside that I need to be on guard when I see this brother. Or I need to be on guard when I see this sister. No, it's going to be your children. It's going to be your siblings. It's going to be your parents. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be your closest friends and confidants. Those are the ones that will test your willpower. And brother, Joseph was tested. You know what I'm saying? From the age of, what was it, nephew? 17? How old was he when he was 17, right? Yeah, from the age of 17 to 30 years old, he was in prison. You know what I'm saying? He was a slave or in jail. You know what I'm saying? The old Creole, not Creole word. Yeah, the old Creole word is you would call that boy a zombie. You know what I'm saying? Because that boy was lifeless. You know what I'm saying? He was not a person. You feel me? And all this was the cause of his brothers. So when he saw his brothers, he had conflicted emotions. He was like, man, these my brothers, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, the sons of my father. The ones that I wish would have came and got me. But these are the ones that got me caught up. You feel me? So he started, inquiring. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the previous class, you got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. To get the information that you need, you have to seek out the truth. You understand? You don't ever just take things for face value. Is my dad still alive? You know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't say his dad. Well, what country do y'all hail from? Oh, we're Hebrews that dwell in the land of Canaan. Okay. Y'all got a father? He's like, yeah, well, yeah. Your servant, he's still alive. He's serving you well. You know what I'm saying? Is this all of your brethren? Well, it's one that isn't with us anymore, and then one that is with our father. So within that line of questioning, he's got to understand that his little brother's still alive. You understand? And his father's still alive. So he didn't play, tricks and games with him. You understand? To get that information, he made him believe. He's like, well, I don't believe that y'all are my servants. I believe that y'all are spies. So just for good measure, he let them spend 3 nights in jail. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let them get a little taste of what he experienced, for over a decade. You understand? I mean, really 2 decades, to be honest with you. And then once he brought him out of prison, he sent them on their way. And he was like, well, since you said that you're not spies, bring the younger brother back that you said that you had. And until you do that, I'm going to hold one of your brethren here. Right. And he held Simeon. You know what I'm saying? And they took their time. When they got back, they wasn't in a rush to come back and get Simeon. You know what I'm saying? It was until the grain ran dry that they bought. You understand? and then their father sent them back. So we looked just on the map. You know, by we put by bicycle, you know, so that's close to we can get to a camel because they was riding on caravan of camel. It was a 3 days journey. You understand, from where they were in Egypt to get back to the land of Canaan. So we know it took a minimum of 6 days to get there and get back. We don't know how long it took for them to deplete the grain in between that time. This whole time, Simeon is in prison. You understand? Under order of his younger brother Joseph, that he don't know is his younger brother. You understand? So they plead with their father. Their father relinquishes Benjamin, the younger brother. He said, but you better make sure you bring him back, because if not, if he don't come back, I'm gonna give up the ghost. You know, he's the youngest son of my favorite wife. I don't even know how you say that to your boys. Like, so what you saying? I mean, what, we just chop liver around here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, God dog, daddy. I mean, you thought you learned your lesson when you lost the boy the many colors. You understand? So after that happened, they brought him back, and you know he played another game on them. You understand? They brought the money back that he had put in the sacks. He's like, okay, cool. We're gonna have a feast. They feasting, big grubbing, big drinking. He's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So this how much grain and stuff that y'all need. Let's see. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have my servants load y'all down. And he whispered his servants here, make sure you slip this silver chalice in the youngest boy's satchel. And once they leave, go and seek about my satchel. You know what I'm saying? With my chalice in it. So they do that. They ride down on him. And he was like, so we showed y'all a good time. And this is how y'all treat us, y'all thieves. You know what I'm saying? This how they do it in Hebrew land. I've been around them Canaanites too long, man. You know what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is, you know, Judah, you know, emboldened, he was like, we brought money back to you, so why would we steal anything? I tell you what, if you find what you looking for in any of the satchels, let that man be your slave. So they go through, rummaging the sacks. Guess what? It's found in Benjamin. He lose his mind. You know what I'm saying? So when he get back, he want to have a word with Joseph. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, take me for the boy. You know what I'm saying? Because my father, if we don't return back with him, he gonna die. And that's where we are in the story. We at Genesis 45:1. Whoever got it, go ahead and read.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 45, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept out.
He did what?
And he wept aloud. And the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live?
Now imagine how loud this man is wailing. It said not only Pharaoh heard, you know, Pharaoh got his own chambers afar off somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He said Pharaoh and all the servants heard him. You understand? Imagine Pharaoh back there with one of his handmaidens, you know, doing what he's doing, drinking wine. And he hear, man, ooh, he's like, what the hell's going on around here? What is this moaning I'm hearing? You know what I'm saying? And he just, in the spirit of brotherhood, which is what this class is going to be about, he reveals himself to his brothers. Read.
And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said,
Sapar, give me Genesis 50:20. Go ahead, keep reading.
And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves.
Say that one more time.
Be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves.
So why is Joseph telling his brothers not to be grieved and not to be angry with themselves?
Because the Lord had to forcefully move him into a position with brothers.
Man, give that brother a hand. Read what you got, support. That's right online what he said.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
But as for you, ye thought evil against me,
Mm-hmm.
but God meant it unto good.
Say that one more time.
But God meant it unto good.
So understand this. No matter how bad your situation is, you understand? No matter how dire it is, no matter how much you think you're in an upside down situation, you don't know how you're going to get out of it, the Lord can turn it out for good. It don't matter if somebody set you up to get fired. Maybe the Lord allowed it because he got another position for you over here. So, you grab me a water, brother? Grab me a water? Yeah, that's all good. So what you have to understand is be perfect in all things. Even when you're dealing with your family members. When your family members do you bad, you understand? That doesn't, the scripture says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, the water. You understand? So there's nothing that you can do to them that the Lord can't do greater. Right? So putting your hands on them, it ain't necessary. They're not going to learn. You understand? And then now you're going to be around here with bruised up hands. You know what I'm saying? You might have called a elbow or a black eye. You bruised up because you want to fight. And then now y'all both in trouble. The most important thing that you can do is to let God do what he's going to do. You understand? You got to have faith. You got to have hope. And you got to be able to trust in what the word says. Either you believe in the scriptures or you don't. All right. Nephew, give me what verse you stopped at? You stopped at verse 4?
Verse 5.
Okay, no sweat. Give me John 8 and 32. And when you got to go ahead and read it.
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Say that one more time.
And the truth shall make you free.
This is why Joseph was wailing, right? Because he was burdened. He was burdened at the fact that he could not reveal himself to his brothers because he couldn't necessarily trust them yet. And when it got to the point to where he couldn't play the game, he couldn't play the dozen, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't trifle around with him anymore. He gave up the information. He felt unburdened. That's why he was moaning. That's why he was wailing. That's why he was in such travail when he embraced his brothers, talking about, it's me, I'm your brother, it's Joseph. And like his brothers were shook. Like, what? How are you? But that's what happens when you are following the law, statutes, and commandments. Give me, since you and John, give me John 15 and 13. Like, everything that Joseph went through was to prepare him for this moment. Like, I know a lot of us, we want to, have multiple properties. We want to have land. We want to have multiple businesses, multiple streams of income. And those are admirable things to seek after. But in order to be at the helm of all of those things, you have to have a certain type of mindset. And if you didn't go to school to get that mindset, sometimes life has to be the best teacher. And even when you do go to school for it, the only way that you, because the industries change every single day. And I mean, at this age in time, the speed that things are changing, it is so hard to keep up with current events because things are changing drastically overnight. Like, what was standard protocol in industry has completely changed. You know what I'm saying? The protocols that they did in the medical field during COVID are completely different now. You know what I'm saying? Like we was all walking around here masked up. Give me 20 feet. You know what I'm saying? Don't breathe on me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you went back in time, like you would think we live in some type of toxic wasteland the way people was covered up and walking around. People making their own spacesuits. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to touch the outside air. Like people was crazy. It was a crazy time to be alive. You know what I'm saying? We got quarantine babies, all of that stuff. It's the quarantine generation. You know what I'm saying? But you have to go through things in order to be prepared for what is to come. No CEO became a CEO overnight. Like the best way to be the best owner and the best person to run a company, you have to know every facet of it. You have to know what it's like. You understand? So you know how to lead. Go ahead and read what you got for me, nephew.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
That what?
That a man laid down his life for his friends.
There is no greater achievement that you can do in your life than to lay down your life for your brother or for your sister. What Joseph did, if Joseph's life was not forfeited and sacrificed, he would not be in a position to save his family. Because the only reason why the Egyptians are even entertaining these Hebrews the way they're entertaining, you think Pharaoh would have brought them into his house to wine and dine them? Hell no. It's like they even said it when they sat down the first time. Like the Egyptians ate and drank separate away from them because it is against their law to be seen breaking bread with Hebrews. Because in their eyes, they're beneath them. They're beneath their station. So imagine even Joseph being elevated second unto Pharaoh. Even then, he was still, well, I can't say the word. You know what I'm saying? But it rhymed with jigger. You understand? That's why I be trying to get y'all to understand. It don't matter how much money you got to them, you still a jigger. Not that for Facebook, that's JIGGA. You know what I'm saying? So you'll never rise above the status quo of your people. And you need to remember that. And they will remind you at every turn. Remember, I told y'all last class, LeBron James is worth $1 billion with all of his endorsements. When he wanted to stand for what happened for Big Floyd, for George Floyd, they told him, shut up and dribble. Ain't nobody asked you for social commentary. We pay you to make us ooh and ah the way you dribble and dunk the basketball. Just shut up and dribble. Nobody asks you your thoughts on what's going on in politics and in government. You know what I'm saying? So this is the mindset that you need to have. In order for anyone to elevate, in order for any people to elevate, it takes a sacrificial lamb. The reason why we're not in a better condition as a people, because nobody wants to bite that bullet and sacrifice their life. Nobody wants to everybody say, you know, I want land, I want property, but don't nobody want to be the person to save up to get the first acre. And then when you get the first acre, to till the land. You saying you don't want to eat these GMO foods and all of this stuff that they processing, you understand, and just trying to kill us, you understand, in these food deserts, but you don't want to do what's necessary to grow your own food. You don't want to do what's necessary to dig your own well, to have your own fresh water supply. The only way a nation gets built is somebody has to turn over earth and start laying the pillars for the foundation. But it takes work. And the only way that's going to happen is You have to be willing to do the thing that is no greater love. You have to be willing to sacrifice your life for your brother, for your sister, for your friends. All right. Nephew, give me what I want. Give me Ephesians 5:2. So when it comes to sacrifice, you can't do it. You can't do it begrudgingly. Like you can't be like, "Oh my God, he needed help paying his rent again." Oh, like bro, like why is it that you never have gas in your car? Why is it you only hungry when you come over here? You don't eat at home. Your mama don't feed you. Like what's going on? You understand? Like you can't say, look what I did for him and look what I did for her, but the whole time you doing for them, you complaining about it. Go ahead, read what you got for me.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And walk in love.
Do what?
And walk in love.
You understand? So somebody blow my mind. What is the definition of love according to the Bible? I know Sapar know. Malaki, do you know?
Obedience?
No, it's not the definition of love. You want to give him the scriptures, Sapar? Start at verse 2. Go to 1 John chapter 5, and then you're going to go to verse 2. And you're going to read the 3.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
By this, we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments.
So this is how you know you love one another, that you keep the commandments. And then it says it's not hard to keep the commandments. All right. That's how you know that you love one another. So what that means is, I don't care how you feel. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm going to tell you. You understand? That's how you know that I love you. Keep reading.
For this is the love of God,
Mm-hmm.
that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Okay, so that's the definition of love. And it says, first it tells you this how you know you love one another, right? That you keep the commandments, right? And then it says, and this is the love of God, that you keep the commandments and it's not grievous, because when you keep the commandments, you live a life and you live it more abundantly, because you're not riddled with diseases from dietary problems. You're not riddled with diseases from STDs. You're not having the threat of murder hanging over your head because you're not a thief. You're not an adulterer. You're not a murderer. You know what I'm saying? You're not a liar. You know what I'm saying? So when you walk around, you don't got to be looking over your shoulder to the left or to the right, because you know you're living a clean life. So you can live it without burden. You're free. You understand? So go back to where you were in Ephesians 5:2. You understand? It said the first thing that you got to do is walk in love. So now that we know what love is, so that means you have to walk in the commandments. All right, go ahead, nephew.
And walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us.
You understand? So walk in the commandments also as Christ kept the commandments to us. Read.
And hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God.
You understand? And he gave up his life to walk. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. You can't fake this. Because to do this, it really does mean to give up your life. You forfeit your life to follow Christ. Like you really do. You know what I'm saying? Like Not saying that, you know, whatever your dreams, goals, and aspirations that you had that you wanted to ascertain, that you can't achieve them, but 9 times out of 10, the way you probably would have went about doing it, you got to do it a different way because you're under Christ now. You understand? So it's not saying that you can't achieve those heights that you wanted to, but it's going to be a lot harder because you can't do it covered in filth. And majority of the time, the higher and more successful you get in this life, the more dirt that they have on you. Because there's no way, you understand, this, I mean, you'll have a really, really hard life, you understand, doing it the righteous way. And there's some people out there that have done it, that have attained it, you understand? But to attain wealth and mastery in this life righteously, it's almost impossible. Because in order for them to let you in the club, they have to have something on you. Because in the time that you don't want to do what they want you to do because you think it's not right, they're going to be like, well, remember this right here? Unless you don't want this to come out, I suggest that you vote with the populace vote. In case you don't want this come out, I suggest that you move with us on the acquisition of this land. You understand? And you buying some small family out of their land they didn't have for generations. You forcing them out of their land. And you know it's wrong. But because you are corruptible, that's why the scripture says you can't put on the immortal and still have on the mortal. You can't put on the uncorruptible and still be corruptible. You have to be blameless, and to be blameless is extremely hard. You don't think I want to slap people every day? Brother, I'm telling you. Like the other day, I was just doing my job, you know what I'm saying? Going to go check the utility lines, to go mark them and stuff like this. A ticket that the homeowner called in, and they tell you when you call in the ticket, anywhere from 24 to 72 hours, if you calling in the ticket, we will be on your property to mark the utilities. You understand? So he comes out, he yelling at me, hey, what you doing back here? What you doing in my yard? I was like, didn't you call in the ticket? You couldn't knock first? I did. You didn't answer. What's the problem? I'm just saying, I could have, hey, I just yelled back, hey. You know what I'm saying? When I started talking to him and repeating the stuff that he's saying at the tone that he's yelling at me at, he feels stupid. You have to be on par all the time. You understand? Keep reading.
And hath given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling savor.
For a what?
Sweet-smelling savor.
What is a sweet-smelling savor? You ever barbecue before? How you know somebody barbecuing?
It smells good.
Cause of what?
It smells good.
You know what I'm saying? When you know that smell, you know somewhere, if not your own house, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Somebody queuing it up. You understand? And Christ is the perfect sacrifice. You understand? So imagine the best barbecue that you never had in your life. And when they was cooking it up on that pit and you was out there playing, you know what I'm saying? Or you was wherever you was, or you was coming home. Just imagine you coming home and you walking down the driveway. You like, man, bro, somebody doing their thing, bro. It smell good. And you walk in your house and all you smell is smoked meats. You know what I'm saying? The finest sausages, the finest beef patties, the finest chickens. You know what I'm saying? Like the finest smoked salmon. Your house just smoked out. You know what I'm saying? And you just walk in the kitchen, you like, oh my goodness. And you walk in and your wife just finished making a potato salad. Oh, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? With a fresh thing of red Kool-Aid with the lemon slices in it. You understand? A delectable meal, a delectable sacrifice. Like to know that somebody slaved for you all day for when you came home. Somebody thought about you. That's what Christ did to the millionth power. He slaved his entire life to be perfect for you, just so you would be able to get into the kingdom, so you could have a shot at having an eternal life, so you would be able to have a line to the Father. You understand? All right. One more scripture and we'll jump back into it. Give me 1 John. That's towards the end of the Bible, close to Revelations, where he was reading the definition of love. 1 John 3:16. Read that for me.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us.
Because what?
Because he laid down his life for us.
This is why parents get upset at children that are disrespectful, because of the sacrifice. You don't know what it takes to raise a child. You don't think your parents want to go out and have a good time? You don't think your parents want to stay up late? You know what I'm saying? And chill and party, possibly play video games, be up, chilling with their partners. But they can't do that because they have to be responsible for you. To have a child means to forfeit your life. And imagine on the greatest day of your achievement, like you graduating, you telling your parents, you ain't never did nothing for me. You ain't never been there for me. I did this on my own. You understand? That is disrespectful. And that's how we treat Christ. Every single day when we smoke weed, when we out here getting drunk, when we out here conducting ourselves in extremely lascivious behavior, whether it be in sexual immoral acts, whether it's being a whore or a whoremonger, or engaging in homosexuality. You understand? We are disrespectful to the sacrifice that was made for our lives. Just as disrespectful as a child on their graduation day to sit up in their parents' face and say, I did it all by myself. You understand? The reason why I'm graduating is because I stayed up long nights. I taught myself how to read and write. You understand? I fed myself a bottle from an infant. You understand? I changed my own diapers. You understand? I ain't never had a job, but I made clothes magically appear to clothe myself. I put shoes on my feet so I could walk to school. I saved up money so I can get a car. You understand? That's disrespectful to people that lay down their life to sacrifice. This is what Joseph did. Joseph forfeited the most important moments of his life. From 17 to 30, those are the most pivotal moments in your life. Those are some of the most memorable moments in your life. Those are the times that will direct who you will be for the rest of your life. Those things and those choices that you make between 17 and 30 will influence the rest of your life. That's why it's so important right now. How old are you?
17.
Oh my God. How old are you?
17.
Boy, so you the age when Joseph got kidnapped. That's why you wanted to know Joseph's age. So this the beginning of your Joseph journey, man. Right now, the choices that you make from this day forward to 30 years old will set the tone for the rest of your life. Every proactive decision that you make and every procrastinated decision that you make, it will set the tone for who you will be and where you will be and where your family will be for the rest of your life. Because it is and will always be on you. From this moment forth, you can't blame mommy and daddy. You can't blame your brothers. You can't blame your little sisters. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame your professor was hard on you. You know, he didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame well, I had to work. Well, everybody got to work, but you still got to go to school. Every decision that you make from this day forward is on you, and it will set the tone for the rest of your life. And the question that I have to you is what's posed in the scripture. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because if you sacrifice the fun now, you'll have fun later. And I guarantee you the fun that you having right now is trivial compared to what you would be able to do as an adult. But you have to be willing to sacrifice your life now. You understand? The things that everybody think is cool now, when you get older and you look back on it, you'll see how stupid it was. And you'll see all the choices, all the weed smokers and the cool guys that wanted to be cool in high school and everybody thought they was cool. You're going to see how much of a joke they'll be when you're 30 years old. You're going to see why your mother and your father told you to stay away from them, that you shouldn't hang with them. Stay away from this person. You know, you can't, I know they're having a sleepover, but you can't go to this person's house because your parents have seen that prototype of individual their whole life. And they've seen how their story plays out. And they've seen the collateral damage of those that hang out with those type of people and how they turn out. Hell, your parents might have been one of those people. And they don't want you to end up like they did. And they're sacrificing their life so you can have a better life. That's true brotherhood. Keep reading.
Because he laid down his life for us,
Mm-hmm.
and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
So, if you are a follower of Christ, prepare to forfeit your life. If you really believe in Christ, your life does not matter. What you want does not matter. That's not to say what you desire you can't have, but it's not the most important thing. It's not saying that we can't go to Aruba. It's not saying that we can't go to Tulum. It's not saying that we can't go to Egypt and Israel. It's not saying that we can't go to Bali. We can't go to the UK. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that we can't go fishing. It's not saying that we can't go skiing in the French Alps. You know what I'm saying? But the deliverance of our people is precipice. It's paramount. It's quintessential. In other words, it's extremely important. So when you take care of your people, they will take care of you. You can't call yourself a follower of Christ and Christ sacrificed his life and you're not willing to sacrifice a Sabbath to go to camp in another zone. You're not willing to give up when you get off work to come up here and set up, you know what I'm saying? Or make sure that the school is clean for the next day tomorrow. You understand? Or if you're off during the week to help Officer Gabawar and them and go set up for the food drive to feed your people. Because The first and greatest commandment is to fear the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and with all thy soul. The second is likened unto it, to love thy brother as thyself. If you were in a dilapidated condition, you would want someone to have provisions to give to you. That's why we do it. That's why we give. That's why we pay tithes. And if you can't pay tithes, that's why you give your time. Time is the greatest sacrifice that you can ever make because you can't get that back. What are you doing with your time? Ask yourself that on a weekly basis. How much time am I giving to service of the Lord? What can I do to be of service? You have to be willing to sacrifice your time because this is what builds up your spiritual escrow account. So when it comes time to where you want to take out a loan, you want to refinance, you know what I'm saying? You want to draw out against the equity of the spirit that you've built up. You have room for a deficit because you've invested. Now, like, people think of the Lord as some metaphysical genie. It does not work like that. You know what I'm saying? If you give, you shall receive. The more you give, the more you receive. The more time that you give, when you need time and you need help, that time will be given back to you. When you go help people move, when you need to move, it might not be the same people you wouldn't help, but you'll get the help that you need to move. You understand? When people are hungry and you feed them, when you short, and you need some money to fix you food for the week, it's gonna come from somewhere. You have it's not magic, but I guess you can look at it that way, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? What you reap, you will sow. You understand? Joseph forfeited his whole life so that his family can live. This is the mindset when what's the two things every man is in this school? You remember?
A king and a priest.
A king and a priest. You understand? For the sisters, you a princess and a daughter of Zion. You understand? Both of them equally mean the same thing. You are royalty and you are spiritual. But you got to be aligned with the right spirit. There's a lot of spirit out here. You know what I'm saying? They got the Allah spirit. They got the Buddha spirit. They got the Krishna spirit. They got the Obatala spirit. They got the Yemiya spirit. They got the Oshun spirit. You know what I'm saying? They got the Papa Legba spirit. You know what I'm saying? They got the Oludumare spirit. You know what I'm saying? What spirit are you aligned with? In order to be aligned with this spirit, you have to be perfect. And what it say, nephew? It's not grievous, right? You understand? Like Joseph went through it. You know how hard it is, bro, to be convicted of something that you're innocent of? To be taken to jail and you've committed no crime. Because that's what it means to be a slave. You go to jail, you go to prison. You committed no crime. And then wherever you've been sent to, you raise up to be the highest trustee. And then the warden's daughter comes and she takes a liking to you every time she comes to go visit her daddy at work. And she wanna sleep with you and you choose not to sleep with her. And she tell the warden, he tried to rape me. You know what I'm saying? Now they send you to max prison. You in triple max. You know what I'm saying? Lockdown. Only 1 hour of sunlight a day. You in your cell for 23 hours. You in 23-hour lockdown. You only get 1 hour out of your cell a day. And even in the midst of that, you still rise up. Because you're perfect. In order to get the Lord's favor, you got to go through hell. because he has to know that he can trust you. And the only way that happens is he has to see you in every single situation. You understand? For men, he got to see how you act with women. For sisters, he got to see how you act when you get the attention of men. He got to see how you act when you get new money. Does your mindset change? Does your spirit change? Does how you treat people change? You know what I'm saying? He got to see you when you, as we say in H time, when you're on your ass. You feel me? When you hit the bottom, he got to see how you act then. You understand? He has to see you in a multiplicity of situations to see if you are worthy of what he has to give you. Because he wants you to be in rulership. But to be a king, you got to know what it's like to be homeless or sleep on the sofa, to have to sleep in your car. You know what I'm saying? To know what it's like to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? To know what it's like to lose a loved one. You understand? When you lose the ones that you love, do you say, well, God can't be real because he wouldn't have took my mama from me. He wouldn't have took my son from me. The son that he said that he would give me. Like that's what Abraham went through. The Lord promised him a son, but to prove that he loved the Lord more than anything, he told him to sacrifice his son. The Lord will test you to see if your spirit is of the love. The Lord loves obedience more than sacrifice, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to sacrifice. To be obedient means you have to sacrifice. But you have to be obedient to the Lord, not to your own whims in spirit. And through all the situations that Joseph went through, when he got kidnapped and became a slave, and he gave up his God and started serving Egyptian gods in the world, nobody would have blamed him. When he rose up in Potiphar's house, or the ruler of the army of Pharaoh's army, when he rose up in his house, and his wife accused him of rape, and he got thrown in prison. If he would have gave up the Most High and started serving Egyptian gods in the world, nobody would have blamed him. Because what God would allow that to happen to you? But the Lord wants you to be faithful unto death, Isupk. Because those that are in the truth knows that death is not the end. If you believe death is the end, shoot, go ahead and be like BBL Drizzy and go YOLO. You only live once. And see what that gets you in this life. You might end up on OnlyFans. Salakia. trying to get popularity for $1. ODing on likes. You know what I'm saying? You out here dopamining for the attention of the people out here, for clicks and likes, for views. That's crazy. Come on, man. Like the new currency is views, clicks, and likes. It ain't even money. It's attention. It is the illusion that you're doing something instead of you going out here and actually doing something worth being looked at. Like, all you being draped in Fendi, Louis, and Gucci is making the fashion houses of Lindy, Gucci, and Louis more wealthy. Why don't you build your own fashion house? Since you love Birkin bags so much, Why don't you go take a tour to the Birkin factory in Italy and see how they fashion their leather? See what it takes for you to create your own. That's our problem. We want to keep up with the Joneses, you know what I'm saying? And we still in bedrock with the Flintstones, and we creating the Jetsons above us. You understand? In order for the Jetsons to live in the sky, it got to be somebody on the grounds working in bedrock. It got to be. You around here, you know, Fred Flintstone and Wilma and Rags, you know what I'm saying, and George Jetson and his wife, they living in the sky because you on the ground. And Rags, hoping for the sky. But know that they can't dwell up there without you tilling it. So why don't you till it for yourself? Till it for your people, first and foremost. All right. Let's get back to it. Verse 6 in 45.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 45, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth.
He said what?
And God sent me before you to preserve you a prosperity in the earth.
You understand? So in this moment, Joseph realized all the pain and the affliction that he went through was worth it. But just a chapter ago, he was praising the Lord to forget his family because he thought his family forgot him. And he said all the pain that he went through was worth it. I got a new job. You know what I'm saying? I'm making $100,000 a year. I don't got to spend none of my money because I'm on per diem. You know what I'm saying? And I write the checks for the CFO and the CEO of the company. So whatever I say, go. And then the CEO, he done took a liking to me so much, he done gave me his daughter to marry. I done got a new job. You know what I'm saying? New money, new clothes, new wife. Who this? You know what I'm saying? Well, forget my family. And then lo and behold, first day on the job. You know what I'm saying? When it's time for me to actually do the work that I got hired for, guess who done rolled up in here asking for food stamps? My brothers. That I said, thank the Lord for delivering me from them. There's always a lesson. And in this exact moment, it all clicked. He remembered the dream that he had at his father's house. Never forget where you come from. Never forget what you've been through. Never forget what you've endured coming into this truth. It's not about you. It's about your brother. It's about your sister. It's about your wife. It's about your husband. In some cases, it might be for your husband's other wife. It ain't always about you. If any move that you're making is strictly for you, you in the wrong spirit. I did something I never did before today. I cleared 40 tickets off my board because me and my wife have a goal. It's not just about me. I got somebody that looked to me. Even if you don't have a wife or if you don't have a husband, you got brothers and sisters. Even though they not blood, they look to you. You gotta have that at the forefront of your mind at all times. You understand? Nephew, give me oh man, this is one of your favorite scriptures now. Give me 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. As soon as you see it, you probably gonna laugh. But you have to understand what you're going, like, you got to look at when you wake up in the morning. This is a page, or not even a page. This is a line in the chapter in a page of your book. Somebody's reading this right now. How do you want them to see you? Like, are you a NPC? You understand? Or are you a primary character? Are you just somebody that's just existing, or are you someone that's making a difference? Read what you got. Oh, I saw you ready. You know what it is, huh? Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man.
Say that one more time.
There hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man.
You understand? Joseph got thrown in jail. Guess what? A lot of brothers and sisters been thrown in jail. Joseph was falsely accused. Guess what? A lot of brothers and sisters have been falsely accused. You understand? Joseph got a new job and then got fired from his new job. It's a lot of people that get a new job and then also get fired from that job unjustly. You understand? There is nothing that you're going to go through that no one has gone through throughout antiquity. The difference is how you react to the problem. You understand? You're either going to be faithful or unfaithful, but you have to make the conscious decision of who you're going to be. Like, this is a movie. I tell people all the time, you are the main character and the supporting actor or actress in your story. You're the main character in your life. Like, prime example, I'm the main character in mine. I'm a supporting actor in my wife's life. You understand? You have to have that mindset. It is your story, but it's also Sapar's story. It's also Monica's story. It's also Ali Ashaba's story. It's also Malakwa's story. You know what I'm saying? It's also Kalapak's story. You understand? It's also Mariam's story. It's everybody's story. You have to be considerate of that. You can't be so focused on your story that you forget to support someone else in theirs. Because remember, no matter if you're watching Game of Thrones, remember, it's the 7 kingdoms. But those 7 kingdoms don't exist if the Tullys don't help the Lannisters. If the Lannisters don't help the Baratheons. You know what I'm saying? If the Baratheons don't help the Starks. You know what I'm saying? If the Starks don't help the Targaryens. You understand? There's a trade amongst them. They all need each other to survive. And then all of them needs a night watch to protect the wall from the wildlings. You can't do it by yourself. And in all of these houses, there's a character in each of those houses that rises above the rest because they're willing to do what the rest won't do. You know what I'm saying? So you got the mad king of the Targaryens. You know what I'm saying? The craziest of them all. He was well renowned for being crazy. You know what I'm saying? To where they wrote stories about him. He conquered everybody because he was just insane. He just killing people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are known for separating themselves from the herd. You have to be willing to do that. And in order to do that, you have to be perfect. And it's hard. It's not easy. You're going to bump your head. You're going to trip. You're going to fall. Just get back up. Keep going. Stop looking behind you at your mistake. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not here. All you have is right now. What decision will you make in the now? I tell people all the time, we're time travelers because we spend so much time asphyxiated on the past, and in the future that's not here, we neglect the moments that we have because you so caught up on who cut you off on the freeway. You know what I'm saying? You still thinking about how the way your boss talked to you at the beginning of the shift this morning. You off the clock and you at home and you done took a shower and your wife trying to cook you dinner and asking you what you want to eat and you still thinking about this fool at work. Be present because that's where heaven is. It's here in the moment. Each decision that you make in the present, it creates the future. Because you can have an idea of what you want in the future, but if you're not making the right decisions in the now, that's irrelevant. You have to be perfect in the now. Joseph was perfect in the now. He was conscious, making righteous decisions in the now. In his mind, he had no future, but he knew he had a God. He knew his God wouldn't abandon him. And that's the mindset that you have to have in every situation that you go in. Because no temptation is common to man. You understand? Keep reading.
But God is faithful.
But God is what?
Is faithful.
Uh-huh.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Now he's telling you the situation that you're going through, you're able to do it. You're able to deal with it. That's the mind, like, man, it was a hard day today. It was messed up. Or you in the midst of it, man, it's a crazy day today. Like they done put 80 tickets on my board. You know what I'm saying? Or like my wife said, I done came to work today. I got 500 emails. You know what I'm saying? It's like ain't nobody did nothing while I was gone. But like my boss tells me all the time, one ticket at a time. And before you know it, of them 80 tickets you had, you done knocked out 40 before you know it. Because you're focused. There's no temptation that is common to man. But the Lord will make a way for you out of your temptation. But the only way you're going to see it is if you not succumbing, Shalakia, to the bullshit. Keep reading.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
Make a way to what?
Way to escape.
You understand? So in every situation that you're going through that's tough as hell, you need to be looking for the door. Because the Lord is just really just, he's allowing Satan to test you. And you know it's a test because your life not threatened. You know what I'm saying? Even when your health is threatened and you've been doing the right things, there's an escape route. You just have to be focused enough doing the right thing in order to see it. You understand? It might be something random, like somebody say, you like they hear you go, man, you sound real congested. Yeah, I know, man. I've been dealing with this for 3 weeks. Well, you got some honey at home? Yeah. You got some vinegar at home? Yeah. You got some olive oil at home? Yeah. Mix it in equal parts, thirds, and thirds, and do it twice a day for a week. You'll be fine. And you've been having this congestion and all of this for almost a month now. Now, they done gave you instructions. It sounds crazy as hell. And trust me, it's nasty. It's nasty as hell. It tastes nasty. It tastes bitter. It tastes like something done turned. You understand? They told you to take it twice a day. Now, Those are commandments. If you want to get rid of your affliction, you want to get rid of your infirmity, you have to follow the directions that's written down, that's given to you. Those directions were for you to mix something in equal parts. And then he gave you a dosage and the frequency for you to take it twice a day. And he said, you'll be fine. Now, if you follow these instructions to the T, guess what? You'll be fine. You can't do it for one day. Can't do it for 2 days. After 3 days, you may start feeling, but man, I'm fine. I don't need to take this no more. But what did he say do? He said, take it for about a week, 5 days, and you'll be fine. That's the scriptures. That's the word of God. He's giving you the instruction to heal whatever affliction, infirmity, or oppression that you are dealing with. But the scripture says, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. You understand? Joseph was faithful to the end. He was in prison. His family abandoned him. His employer betrayed him. You understand? He was lied on. He was cheated by people who he helped get out of prison. He just told him, hey, bro, when you get out, look out for your boy. You know what I'm saying? But in everything that we read, one thing that we did not see that Joseph did was complain. He didn't complain. He just kept walking. He accepted his fate. He accepted his situation, and he was in the moment. He just dealt with it the best way that he could. That's what you got to do. And then when it comes back around, those people that betrayed you, I know the sweetest thing that would be to be like, remember when you did this to me? You good. Next. That would make you feel amazing. But perhaps the Lord is bringing it back around for you. It's a two-part. That's a double entendre lesson, and most people miss it because they so asphyxiated on the revenge. But the scripture says, when your enemy is hungry, feed them. When they are thirsty, to give them drink. And it will be like reaping coals of hot fire upon their forehead, because they will be mentally dismayed because they don't understand, why is he helping me? Why is she helping me? I know he knows. I know she knows what I did to him. Why are they being nice to me? I don't understand. I don't get it. Because the lesson is for them and it's also for you. But not only is it a lesson, it's a test. Will you pass or will you fail? And the ultimate test in every lesson, it's always brotherhood. It's always sisterhood. That is a thing that is going to stretch you to the max. Your family by blood and your adopted family. Because the family you choose is the one that's really thicker than blood. And those are the ones that's going to stress you out the most. But your blood family is going to stress you out too. But the ultimate test in every situation, every hard thing that you've gone through is boiled down to two things. Brotherhood and sisterhood, or lack of brotherhood and sisterhood in every situation. When it came to you losing your job and the person firing you, 9 times out of 10, it was your own people. You understand? When somebody comes to you and asks you for help, it's the same situation. You willing to or willing not to, you understand? It is your choice of how you treat your own people. So be wary of how you treat people, or be wary of how people treat you and you complain, the Lord is going to bring that thing around 360 degrees for you to be in that same situation to help someone and see if you're going to be willing to do it or not. And the reason why you do it is not because of if you can or can't. It's what you would want in that situation. You got to always keep that in mind. That's why you got to always be on your P's and Q's. That's why you got to always be mindful of what you say and how you say it. Because like when you in counsel and you come to counsel, most people don't even understand what counsel is. Like people think it's a trial and a verdict on who's right and who's wrong. It's none of that. It is a judgment of spirit. You know what I'm saying? I give you a perfect example. I'm not going to use names in this scenario, in this situation. You know what I'm saying? But there was a council that happened with General Hyman, and the brother called in, and the person that's over his zone called in, and he was like, "Hey, Salakia, sir, I was just inquiring about something that I saw because I know the captain in that zone. I know he run a tight ship. You know what I'm saying? I know he ain't allowing his man to do that." And when he was on the phone, General Muhammad spoke to the person over his zone, talking about, "You hear that, Captain?" He says he knows his captain runs a tight ship. He knows his captain has his zone in order. When General Muhammad is saying that, what is General Muhammad saying? Does anybody know? When General Muhammad said what he said about this other captain zone and how this other captain zone, he knows that captain zone is in order, and he knows that he doesn't allow stuff to go down in this captain's zone, and he was saying that to his captain. What is General Muhammad saying to that captain over his zone that he said? What is the spirit? Does anybody know? You gonna give a shot, Sapar? Go ahead. This where you get into the spiritual matters.
Salakia, if I may, he's saying that by his reputation, that why is this coming up?
No, that's not what he's saying. General Muhammad is saying in that situation, you hear that? He's saying that this other captain runs his zone better than you run your zone.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But the brother that's calling the council, he's not even calling the council for that. He's just calling to inquire about something that was shared online. He's saying he's trying to be a brother to the captain that's over that zone by saying, I know that captain runs a tight ship. I know that he wouldn't allow that to go in that zone. And while his captain that's over his zone, General Muhammad is like, you hear that, Captain number 2? He's saying he knows Captain number 1 runs a tight ship. He knows Captain number 1 don't allow stuff like this to go down in his zone.
Right.
So basically he's saying,
you're not doing a good job.
You're not doing a good job in your zone, Captain number 2. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to be mindful of everything that comes out of your mouth. You thinking you being a brother or a sister to try and cover what this person is doing, and by weakening the blow, you're really hurting that person, and you're making the person that's over you actually look bad because they're standing for you in that council. You're a representation of that person in that council. So when you come to council, straight truth. Not what you think, not what you feel, not what you believe. When they say, why are we in this council today? Who's calling this council? Well, Salakia said, I'm calling this council. Why are we here today? I'm here because I was trespassed by this brother or this sister based off of situation XYZ. And just let it be XYZ. But so when he turns to that other person, well, Salakia, brother, this person has brought this trespass against you based off of XYZ. Did this take place? It's going to be kind of la'ah. Well, why did this happen? Don't embellish. You understand? Like, you have to be straightforward in everything. Do not embellish. Just be honest in truth and integrity. You have to be. You can't ask someone to make a sacrifice that you're not willing to do. You can't ask someone to fight a fight that you're not willing to fight. You can't ask someone to speak up when you're not willing to. You can't say, well, this needs to change, and you're not willing to change it. I have a rule. A rule that I have is if you're going to complain about something, you need to you need to have 5 reasons why you're complaining about it, and you need to have 5 solutions to solve the problem that you're complaining about. This is why I don't complain about much. It's a lot of stuff that I don't like that I see, but if I don't have a solution to change it, guess what? I'm going to shut the hell up. If you think something can be done better, okay, I'm all ears. Oh, nothing? Well, until you figure something out, shut up. Everybody want to complain about how something is done, but you don't even understand what goes on behind the scenes to even facilitate what you have. You don't know what it takes to run one school. Malakia, can I ask you a question? Do you know how these lights are paid for this school? Do you know what lighting company we use to pay for the lights for the school?
Sir.
Do you know how we facilitate the food programs and who we send all the food to week in and week out?
Sir.
Do you know how the cleaning supplies that we get are here? Do you know how we get the toilet paper that's in there for you to use the restroom?
We buy it.
Well, what money? Where does the money come from?
Camp funds.
You sure?
Or tithes.
Sapar, what you brought in here when you came into class?
Paper towels, soap for the dishes.
Did that come out of your pocket? Oh, wow. Guess that wasn't camp funds, was it? So, Paul, was that a sacrifice for you, Ak?
It was a sacrifice of a joy.
You know what I'm saying? How much did you spend? $15-16. That's a meal at Burger King. That's a meal at Chick-fil-A. So you sacrificed a meal to make sure that it was things to facilitate to clean the house of the Lord, correct? So without people sacrificing, this house doesn't stay clean, nor does this house get built. In order for the things that you enjoy, like, Salakia, everybody would love to wipe their behind, when they go to the restroom. Somebody got to sacrifice to get that toilet paper hot. You know what I'm saying? So the question you have to ask yourself is, what sacrifice are you making? I know we complain about the smell going into the bathroom. Hey, you free. You walk to the bathroom. Why don't you change the cat litter? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the smell that you smell going to the restroom that smell like ammonia that's burning your eyes. The problem is we think somebody else is going to do it. If Joseph would have complained, his family would have died. If Joseph, when he would have gave the declaration of the vision of Pharaoh's dream, he was like, well, the Lord told you that it's going to be a famine here, so I need to create an office. And this office, and he's naming off, this person is going to be the second highest in the land, you know. And he said his servants that have been by his side, he was like, oh yeah, I've been holding him down. I know he's gonna choose me for this position. But in the end, he was like, Joseph, you know, I had all of these diviners from all of these other guys that couldn't foresee what this dream was about, but the Lord gave you the vision. I think you should be over it. And just like that, your hell turned into heaven in 2.5 seconds. And that kidnapping, that false accusation of rape, you understand, you being betrayed, abandoned, all of that is a distant memory, like a woman in travail giving childbirth. Once she holds that baby in her arms, that bundle of joy, that how many hours of labor, that how many months, you understand, of carrying that child kicking them in the ribs and in the womb, and them having to constantly toss and turn carrying that baby, it's all forgotten. When through the whole pregnancy, they complain about their feet hurting. You know what I'm saying? They tired, they drained. And guess what ends up happening? They want to have another one. They want to go through that same hell to bring some heaven into this earth. You know what it took? It took that woman sacrificing 9 to 10 months of her life. It took her sacrificing the nourishment that she was putting in her body for herself for something to grow inside of her. Such is the kingdom of heaven. It's inside of every single one of you. And the more you sacrifice, the more it grows inside of you. The more it shines outside of you. The more people see that light and want some of that light. And that light gets in them and it grows and grows and grows and grows. But it takes one person to sacrifice. Brotherhood. Sisterhood. So before you complain, before you talk about someone, before you think that you can do better, show us. Show me better than you can tell me. If you think I can do it, if you think there's something that can be done, do it. If you think someone can do better, show them how they can do better. If a brother smells or a sister smells, get them some products so they don't smell instead of talking about them. You understand? It takes sacrifice. If you see something out of place, instead of saying this is out of place, hey, let me put it in place. The only way things change is by you having the uncomfortable conversations and you doing the uncomfortable things that you don't like in your life. I use the analogy that Mike Tyson says all the time. In order to be champion, you have to do the thing that you don't like you love it every single day. In order to be a champion, I'm going to say it again. You have to do the thing you don't like you love it every single day. Nobody likes running 3 miles. Nobody. Nobody likes going into the gym and getting in the ring and potentially getting punched in the face. Nobody. But that's life. Nobody wants to get up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. But that's what it takes if you want to be successful at your job or if you want to keep your job. Nobody wants to wake up every 3 hours. But that's what it takes if you want to have children. Because they want to eat every 3 hours. And they got to poop every 3 hours. That's what it's going to take. That's what it took to get you to 17. Somebody had to wake up every 3 hours, every time you cried, and figured out if you wanted to eat or take a crap. Or if you was uncomfortable. See what was going on with you. It went from checking on you every 3 hours to every 4 hours, from 5 to 6 to now you ate? Nah, I ain't ate. Well, you hungry? You want to eat? Nah, I'm good. All right. Holler at me if you need something. Now you on your way out the house. Now I go from checking on you twice a day to make sure that you good and you done your grades is, hollering at you once a week if you're out of state in school. How them grades looking? You going to class? Getting up on time? Okay. We'll see. Come midterms. And then when you get out of college, check in every 2 weeks. How's life, son? You married yet? You giving me some grandkids yet? That's how life progresses. But when you're a child that's trained up in the way you should go, so when you depart, your parents don't have to worry about if you keep in the law, statutes, and commandments. The parents that worry are the kids that didn't follow instructions when they told them to clean up your room, clean the bathroom, wash your dishes. Because if you couldn't do that at your parents' house, when you get to your house, or if you get a house, they know it's going to be in disarray and disorder. So they got to make sure you okay. They got to constantly call you like you was a baby. Did you eat today, son? You know what I'm saying? I got a homeboy that I love to death. He's the same age as me, 39 years old. Still at home with his mom. And what he eat is still depicted upon what his mama make. You know what I'm saying? You got to grow up. Nobody wants to grow up. They want to be Peter Pan. They want to be a kid forever. You don't get rulership by being a child. Right. You have to do the thing that nobody likes to do. Work. And to be a ruler, you have to make sure everybody else works. Nobody really likes their supervisors. They tolerate them. They might be cool with them, but it's some times where they ask you, I know we said that we was gonna get off at 5 today. Nobody going home till 7:30. I used to hate that when I worked at the department stores. When I was a kid and I worked at department stores, it's like, look, I know it's holiday season, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get your mind right. Because when they come in here, they're going to have the store in disarray. If you work in the PM shift, I know you normally get off at 6:37, but we not leaving the store until everything is picked up and every display is set up for open in the morning. Brother, I don't know if you've been in department stores during holiday season, but at the end of the day, in that dressing room, it's clothes everywhere. In them aisles, it's clothes everywhere. Displays look crazy. You understand? Stuff is out of order. And they got to look perfect for opening. And you didn't just work a shift, your normal shift till 7. And by the time y'all done finished cleaning up, it's midnight. And you got to be here for open for 7 a.m. You got to open tomorrow. And you stay 45 minutes from your job. It's a sacrifice, huh? Now, that same sacrifice that you did to close for somebody, for you to open, and you know what it's like to have everything in order when you open, that's the same thing that you got to do in your life. You got to sacrifice for those that's coming behind you. So you 17 right now, the sacrifices that you making right now, it's not for yourself. It's for your little brother and your little sisters that's coming behind you. So they see what you had to do to ascertain what you have. So when they complain, you tell, hey man, I don't want to hear that. I had it worse than you. At least you were born in the truth. I didn't get into the truth until I was 10 years old. What are you complaining about? You have to set the tone. And the only way that happens is like Joseph. You have to sacrifice your life. All right. Anybody got any questions? All right. With that, we're going to say Amajim, which means to stand. Sar, which means to turn. We're going to face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawab, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawat Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabi Ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'Allah, Wahata Para, La'awalamium, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Sar, turn and face the front. Go give a courtesy salute to the brothers and to the sisters. In the visual, Mighty Shabbat, Maji, Ra, Yahweh Shimi Hal Shah Brakatah, Yad Matah, Sar, turn and face the sister. In the visual, Mighty Shabbat, Maji, Ra, Yahweh Shema Shimi Hal Shah, Yad Matah, dismiss.